everybody out there in Middletown, Cromwell, Portland land, East Hampton as well. Thank you for tuning in to the Variety Hour. This is the show hosted by Billy Wilson. Billy is not here tonight. Linda Szynkowicz is my guest, my primary guest, and my co-host. Linda is running for the 33rd.
Yes.
Right?
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, well, yeah, and Linda was on last week, so we will not replicate the show. We probably will a little bit. We don't mean to, but we probably will a little bit. We're taking your calls at 860-613-3031. That's 860-613-3031. Once again, this is Billy Wilson's show. He's not here. I'm John Pulino, the usual co-host. I've been bumped up to host. Linda has moved out of the guest chair. Going to sit in the
Billy's chair.
Billy's chair. Well, whatever.
But
right?
I'm not Billy.
And I hosted Linda. I hosted so many shows last week. I was on David's show. I was on the movie show.
Oh wow.
I was crashing COMCAST. Tyler was. I was escorted out. It was very bizarre.
Can I have your autograph?
No. you know movie stars, or you know recording stars. I don't. So you know real famous people. Now the rumor is that you've been going door to door with Chubby Checker.
No, Chubby has not been able to come
and
up.
We're not kidding people out there.
We're not. He has not been able to come up and do that because of his schedule. Besides, he lives in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You know, coming up
That would
here.
be fun though.
I don't know whether he's going to come election day or not.
Right.
I did offer that to him, but I haven't heard a response back.
So that would
we'll
be.
See.
I would find that wild if you went to someone's door and they were age appropriate to know who Chubby Checker was. That I don't think they would believe it.
But people still don't believe that it's Chubby when they meet him.
Yeah,
because he looks so young.
He looks so young. He's 75, right?
75.
Wow.
Yeah.
He looks very young.
Yeah.
Because he's twisting the night away.
Yes, he is.
That was see, Vin, did you like that, Vin? Vin, it was a pun. So what's happening? What's going on with the campaign trail?
Well, 4 more days.
Right.
4 more days.
Right.
It has been grueling.
Oh, of course. It should be. If you're doing the right things, it should be grueling.
Going out, knocking on doors, talking to people. The funniest thing that I've had happen is the number of people who've been calling my phone number. That's on all my campaign literature.
You have the private phone number. Not private. I mean, a phone number regulated just for that use, for people.
Absolutely.
That's what I mean, not private.
Yep, it's a campaign phone, which
right.
I have with me all the time.
Okay.
And it is just so funny when people call and they can't believe they actually get me.
You were saying that. You get a lot of calls, right?
I've gotten a tremendous amount of calls, and I tell people, I told you you'd be able to reach me at any time. If I'm not there, just leave a message, and I would get back to them.
And you call back, I mean, obviously.
And I call back. I even call back when people don't leave a message.
Right.
I see a number, a missed
ID,
call,
right? Hi,
right? And I'm like, oh, I missed a call. And I explain who I am. This is Linda Szynkowicz. I received a phone call from this number.
From the potential vote, or the voters, the constituents. What's the number one topic? I'm guessing taxes.
Taxes is number one, and basically get my opponent out of office.
Yeah, it's been almost a quarter of a century.
Yes, 24 years.
Wow.
24 years he's voted for every single tax increase.
Yeah, I mean, term limits are hopefully on the horizon.
Right, and I believe in term limits.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
I think 10 years, and that's it. Move on to another position, do something else.
Right, you're saying that, I let me put words in your mouth. You're saying, let's say he was a state rep for 10 years, and it's okay to go for state senator.
Right.
Or mayor.
So you can still stay in politics, but move out of that position.
Because you're getting,
I always wonder why all the people in Washington go in there and they're not millionaires, but they're all multimillionaires once they've been in there.
That's been proven. That's been proven.
I don't know.
Right. But it does take a lot of money to be elected in Washington these days. A lot of PACs and special interests. But it's different locally, right? Would you say, or no?
No. And it's crazy. This is absolutely the craziest election that we have ever seen. I know in my lifetime that I have ever seen.
Yeah, you mean locally, on the federal level, the Trump thing?
And sometimes people want to intermix the stuff that's going on federal with me locally. And it's just like, I have a hard enough time. This is like really high.
Yeah, I know. This is live TV, folks.
I'm sorry.
No, I know. But it's true, because I remember when Mitt Romney ran, I'm running for treasurer of Middletown, and people say, well, he's a Mormon. I don't know. I don't know Mitt Romney, just because we're in the same party.
I haven't.
And they know that.
Right.
People say it's crazy.
But I've had a few people wanting to know who I was going to vote for, and depending upon who I was going to vote for was how they were going to vote for me.
Yeah.
And
but it's interesting, they're not concerned with the issues, the taxes, this alleged tax they want to put in your car. And everyone's talking about it.
Oh yeah.
They want to track your mileage, and find out where you're going and tax you on where you go.
That happens, and I won't have my regular job.
Right.
I would not be able to afford it.
It's bad. I mean.
Yeah. So I mean, every time they turn around and want to have more taxes on everything, and the Republicans have a 5-year plan with balancing the budget without raising taxes.
Right.
You know, it's like, give us an opportunity to show you what we can do, because anytime you bring anything up on the Democrat side, we have to tax. If we don't tax, we're going to have to cut services.
And there is a way to do these things.
Yeah.
I mean, Mayor Giuliano one year when he was mayor, I don't know if it was 2009 or whatever, the union agreed to give $1 million concessions, and he was going to balance. Nope, with no interest from the Dems. It's common sense. That's the problem. If it's a good idea, we go with it. But it's crazy. It's just gridlock they talk about.
Yeah. So all I'm doing is asking people, give me an opportunity to show you what I can do. And if you don't like what I'm doing, call me, let me know, or don't vote me in 2 years.
Right. And that's
it's that simple.
What do they have to lose? But you have a phone call, so maybe you do. Someone has something to say. Thank you, Ben. You're on live TV.
Hi there.
Hello, caller.
What's going on?
We're on live TV with Linda Szynkowicz running against Joe.
Oh, hey, Linda.
Hello. Did they steal your signs again?
Yes. I can't keep your signs at my house.
I've had over 30 signs stolen. I had to make out a police report a week and a half ago because people were calling in. And, like I said, now I've got to go update. I mean, and it's everywhere. I noticed 3 more places today.
This was before Halloween. I always say Halloween night, you're going to lose some signs, kids or whatever. Right. But you were losing them. Like, they were coming off the printing press and people were stealing them.
Pretty much anywhere my opponent's signs are, they've multiplied and mine have disappeared.
Yeah, it's like a beehive.
Exactly. No.
Which it is a larceny, by the way, for stealing a political sign, and it's also criminal trespass.
Right.
It's not just someone with mischief. But we're not going to catch them, and if they want to be such children doing this.
Many years ago, I actually was involved in something, not stealing signs. I saw somebody stealing signs. I was working at COMCAST. I had a camera. Late at night, I was coming back from an event. I saw somebody taking signs. And I had video of it. I took video of it, and I showed it on the show. You would have thought I was the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Right, exactly.
I'm like, guys, I didn't take the signs. I took the video. It's like, once again, that's the logic, though.
Right.
This is back in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh, we should ask, what's your question?
Caller?
My question? Taxes on, because I'm working late, taxes on professional services. So professional companies like architecture firms, engineering, computer science firms, computer programming firms, and some of which are huge in Connecticut, like Lockheed Martin, Sikorsky, Electric Boat, some of the top employers in Connecticut, and this comes up every year. It came up last year, I remember, and was defeated in a legislative session, but it just won't die. The tax on professional services. Companies, like this, when you put out a product, you pay a tax on it. But this would also tax the hourly wages of doing this work. So what are your thoughts on taxes on professional services?
Well, this is the first time I've actually been asked this question. I hadn't given it much thought.
Live TV.
I'd want to get more information on it, but right off the top of my head, I mean, once again, additional taxes. We do not need to be adding more taxes.
In this state.
We've lost 44,000 people in the last 5 years, 237,000 since Joe got into office. It's a mass exodus. And the big thing is taxes. We cannot keep taxing the people. There are other ways to actually provide services, make us business friendly, and it's a whole different cycle that's never been done.
Cut the regulations, cut the business tax.
Right.
Yes, absolutely, especially for small businesses. Right. I'm not sure if it's $250 or $500 or whatever it is. We shouldn't have that for the smaller businesses.
Even order some assistance for a smaller business to get them started.
Yeah.
It's just me talking. Common sense. Any other questions? And how are you, caller?
very overworked.
Very overworked. Well, they're going to put a tax on pretty soon. Governor Malloy is going to put a tax on being overworked. In Connecticut.
Well, is there any merit to this tax you hear on mileage, or is that just an internet thing that's going around?
I hadn't heard about it recently, but I had heard about it a few months ago, and that's when the Dems were saying, "Oh, we'd never do that." Well, they're going to say that because it's an election year. Yeah. It's an election year. Right. November 9th, you're going to find out the budget is, not 40 million down. Yeah. It's going to look like about 1.2 billion.
If you go to your computer, Len Suzio, who's running for state senate, has he has a commercial, a Facebook commercial. He's in a truck and he's talking about it. It's a very good ad.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's about 60 seconds, maybe it's 90 seconds, but he talks about their strategy to, like you just said, people know what they're going to do, and if they control the House and if they control the state senate, they're going to push it through with Malloy. That's what he says. Right. It's probably going to happen.
And 38 out of the last 40 years, the Democrats have had the majority.
Right.
Irregardless of whether it's a Republican or a Democrat governor.
Right.
And it's the House and Senate that make the laws.
And they have supermajority.
Right.
Supermajority.
We only need 12 more state reps.
Right.
And I would really, really like to be able to be one of those 12
right.
to show people what I can do. And like I said earlier, I mean, if you don't like what I do in the next 2 years, don't vote for me again.
Right.
But give me an opportunity to show you what I can do.
Right.
We already know what Joe Serra's capable of doing. Right. If you want taxes, vote for him.
Right. I mean,
he's not going to change.
He has 24 years of experience to show you that.
That's right.
And he's always voted for.
Yep. And 99% of the time he votes straight party line.
And so did Dante Bartolomeo, who says, I didn't vote for higher taxes, but she did every single time. But she says she didn't. Please say you did.
Yeah.
But it's bizarre.
So we've got, it's a whole bunch of things that we need to do. And the first thing is we've got to stop bleeding people leaving Connecticut.
Right.
We've got to be business friendly. We can't keep taxing. What we can do is audit different agencies for redundancy.
Right.
To find out.
You mean like the Board of Education Middletown? Or no, that would never happen. No, they're perfect.
We're gonna go.
Losing money over there.
We're not going to go there
right now. No, we're not going there. No.
So there are other options, and it's not going to be easy. We would have to tighten our belt. And the other thing we've got to stop doing is stop taking money from the federal government to do projects we don't need, like that $660 million busway.
The busway.
The cocaine coach, heroin express.
Like young professionals and the flight from cities were very car-centric. Connecticut's a very car-centric place. I wish we had the infrastructure for these amazing bikeways and things like that.
Right.
However,
is it realistic? Right.
Downtown, nobody wants to live downtown because you can't park anywhere. You have to walk past undesirable people to get to your car.
Oh boy.
So how would you address transportation? I mean, your opponent has been on Casho.
He's on Casho. He's on the Transportation Committee. He's on the Committee for Aging. And we're still aging. Yeah, we are. It's very upsetting.
You might be on different. When you win.
Caller. I had to tell Marco. Marco before the show. Marco, you're still aging. Okay.
You're still aging.
Yeah, it's all horrible.
Well, as far as the transportation, and I brought this up a number of times, is Joe Serra's been on transportation for years.
Oh yeah.
And every 2 years, just before the election, we start seeing another plan on how they're going to do something.
Route 9 under the bridge.
And then after the election, you won't hear anything. And then again, this time it was back in June that they started again.
A rotary with a tram and a blimp.
It would have been very simple back a few years ago when they brought up the busway to say, wait a minute, we're not doing anything with the busway until you fix Middletown. Right. Doesn't matter how long it takes to get it right, but we need to get it right. And what they keep coming up with is not right for Middletown. So, once again, I mean, that would be my main priority. And I'm hoping, first, that if I get elected as your state rep, that I would also be able to be on transportation. That is the one committee I really want to be on.
That would be wild. Right.
That's
very wild.
That's my interest. Like I said, the wasting of the money on that busway is just ridiculous. And I've heard it called the heroin express, the cocaine coach. The drugs are now moving more rapidly between New Britain and Hartford than they ever have.
Of course.
On the bus?
On the bus, yes.
The busway.
The busway. Yes, the busway.
I've heard it many times.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the numbers that they keep giving you and saying that we've had, 4 million riders in the last 18 months are not correct.
4 million riders. Think about
Right.
that. Think about that. 4 million people.
Right.
That's a lot of people.
Well,
where
if
are they going?
Yeah, where are they going?
Where are they going?
They're going to see Doctor Strange tonight.
But it is it is a service that they need, that we need transportation, but we already had that in the buses on the highway.
Right.
And now what they did, eminent domain,
Yeah.
they hired companies that were majority were not Connecticut, so we didn't have Connecticut workers really helping as much as they should have helped. My thought would be to actually change that busway system into a monorail.
I love monorail.
Yeah.
It's very Disney-like.
Right.
A lot cleaner. Yep.
Right, and then also do one up to Pequannock Avenue, up near Bradley,
Right.
because that congestion up there is unbelievable.
Right. That's a good point.
You could actually do one from Middletown and have it not on the highway, but
little substations.
right in the center, and it could be raised.
Right.
There's a number of different things that we can look at for transportation, as opposed to, I believe Larson wants to do that $10 billion dig in Hartford, in East Hartford. And quite honestly, we're going to spend more money?
And we're still going to litigation about a ball field, the yard goats. that really worked out well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was fun. That was fun.
People are not thinking outside of the box. And one of the things that I've told people that I will always be available. My phone number to call, my campaign phone, people have ideas, thoughts on anything. You'll always be able to get in touch with me.
Right. And you get a lot of calls.
I've gotten a lot of calls.
It was ringing before the show.
I'd say 95% are all good calls,
Right.
and then every once in a while
that's okay,
you get
but
one that's...
But I applaud you for coming on the live show,
Right.
I've always opened these shows up to the Democrats, the Independents, the Republicans, the Green Party, you name it. And we've had some independents come on. We've had a few Democrats come on. But it's mostly Republicans, And that's fine. They take the calls. It is what it is. Some calls, you don't know who's going to call. They could come. They could call you up and tear into you or not.
I have no idea.
But it's better that you have to be prepared to deal with the public. And I've been in the show almost 18 years, and I'll tell you, the Democrats don't want to take live calls. They have no control over them. It makes them very nervous. That's just my opinion. I've seen it. It is what it is. What are you going to do?
Yeah, thanks for that question earlier.
Yeah, I know.
I know,
caller.
thoughts on it. But that's okay. If I don't understand something or have enough information on it, one of the things that I would do would be to make sure to get the information I need in order to make an intelligent decision.
Sure.
But the big thing is, we should not be doing any more taxes on anything.
No.
In fact, we should be cutting, which I would push for, is cutting the Social Security tax.
Okay.
And also cutting the tax on pensions.
Right.
Because one of the main reasons people are leaving the state of Connecticut is because you can go to North Carolina, you can go to Tennessee, you can go to Florida, and not have your pensions taxed.
Which is a huge thing, especially when you're on a limited income.
Right.
Right.
So you have to wait. Well, yeah, we wouldn't have that money coming in, but we'd also still have people here utilizing our resources, paying taxes on your house, which we actually need to do, and on your vehicles and stuff. But they're not looking at it that way. They're looking at it, what else are you going to cut when that happens?
My father, he talks about moving all the time because he's on a limited income, teacher's pension, and it's tax.
We're one of 13 states that actually taxes Social Security and pensions.
It's insanity.
And Governor Malloy brought about the gross receipts tax.
Right.
Well, didn't bring about, but furthered, raised it as far as gasoline, which gets passed on.
The hidden tax, right?
Yes, there's that. Len Suzio is really good at explaining that whole thing on how all of that works.
Right.
I still get my gas most of the time up in Massachusetts.
Right. Look at you, Linda.
Hey, a couple of years ago, I actually calculated it out that by buying the gasoline, because I do so much traveling, that I saved $1,200.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Just by going over the border, which I had to go anyway.
$100.
Right.
Yes.
And they're using it to balance it sounds like they're using it to try and balance this transportation fund, which got bigger from the busway, and then you tax more. And then
and it was 10 million over budget, and there's just, we're never seeing the correct numbers. That's the other thing here in Connecticut. You'll be told one thing, and then oops, we made a mistake.
Always.
And then it was actually this, and it always comes around election season.
Well, of course. I mean, that's
Oh, no, we're not going to raise
the
taxes.
smoke and mirrors
Are you kidding me?
of the.
Linda, did you explain, because I'm just tuning in, did you explain the Earned Income Tax Credit Program?
No.
I'm on your website, and had you touched upon that?
No, I haven't.
You could now? You want her to?
Yeah, I want to hear
You want
about it, because I don't understand what it means, but it sounds pretty good.
To be honest with you, I don't know all the details of it, so I probably wouldn't be able to talk intelligently about that particular topic. But I will research it. But what are your thoughts on it?
Gross income tax credit. Well, I know it's on the House Republicans website. Oh, I thought you invented it, but it's on the House Republicans.
No, she invented the light bulb. She invented the light bulb, okay? I'm not supposed to say anything. She invented the light bulb and the radio.
No.
Don't call
No.
in the elevator.
Oh
the
my
elevator.
God. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to say anything on TV. She told me, don't tell people that Vinny in the elevator because she invented it.
Oh, but it gives you tax credit. Okay, tax credits for the amount of money if you qualify from working for someone or owning your own business. Okay, so it helps small businesses. See, that's what you were saying before. That's basically what it is.
Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
anything that'll help small businesses. Keep them here in Connecticut.
Keep people working.
Right.
Keep people hiring.
Right, and that's what we need to do. You get people working, you have new businesses coming in, people start spending more because they have more money, and then it just starts building. And whatever happens in the state of Connecticut, hopefully with the Republicans taking over, it's not going to happen overnight. It's taken us years to dig this hole as deep
Of course.
as we've dug it.
Since the 70s, you were saying, because they've been in charge of the House and the state Senate since the 70s, right?
Yeah, for the last 40 years.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But yet, the voters continue to do the same thing over.
Yeah,
and
so
over.
I'm just asking people to give me an opportunity. You may not, and so you may not agree with everything that I believe in, which is fine because we're not always going to agree on everything.
You know, that's ridiculous.
But you have to look at other things that are important to you. Taxes, like I said, is the number one issue.
Of course.
You may disagree with me on the Second Amendment, which I just support not taking legal guns away from legal gun
Legal
owners.
owners who do the right thing. Again.
Right, and it's not the legal gun owners that are the problem. It's the people with the illegal guns that are the problem. And I believe it is 97% of shootings happen in gun-free zones.
Right, because gun-free zones really work.
So what we need to do is be cracking down on taking the illegal weapons off the street and actually making people serve their time instead of plea bargaining down.
And once in a while, the cops will have this, bring the legal guns in. Like, people aren't going to do that.
No, they do, because they can always get more.
Right. True. What do you get for it? What do you get for it? What do they give you? Gift certificate?
Gift certificate.
They give you a gift certificate for a gun?
No, like gift cards. Like,
for the gun?
Yeah.
Oy vey.
Yeah.
I don't think I would do that. I would keep the gun. It's not worth the Dunkin' Donuts gift certificate. That's what I'm saying.
It's probably like American Express. You can't use it anywhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's odd, though. It's like cash for clunkers,
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange thing.
Yeah. I mean, so we have so many different issues to deal with. And like I said, if you want the same old, then you vote for my opponent.
Right.
If you want somebody who's willing to listen to you, which is one of the reasons I have that phone number, is you'll always be able to get to me personally, because I would be working for you.
Right.
And I would want the people to make me accountable for my votes, because, like I said, I would be working for them.
That was the whole point of the government. That was the whole point of the American government, that you were working for the people.
Right.
But that kind of changed a lot.
It's changed tremendously. Yeah. And one of the things that I tell people that I'm not a politician. I don't
know. You look like one a little bit.
I never have been, and I never will be. I'm a hardworking middle-class woman who believes I can make a difference. I can be the voice of the people who don't know how to get their points of view out there.
But what's good about you is that you have experience, you do have some experience in the political world. You're on the Board of Education, which is a tough board to be on, people.
Oh my God, yeah.
You have dealt with after the break, because we're going to take a break at 8:30, we'll talk more about your experience with small businesses. You deal with high-profile people. You deal with crazy architects that call in shows.
I wanted to ask Linda, the cleaning people are good. I can hear the vacuum. But Linda, war on women. What are your thoughts? It's all over the media. There's a war on women. What are your thoughts? What is that? Does it mean something to you? Is there not a war? I don't know.
I do not believe there is. I mean, there are certain circumstances and certain businesses. I mean, women should have equal pay as well as men.
Right.
But to say one political party versus another is just, good thing I've just cleaned my words up, hogwash.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think
it's not. You know, it is
50% of the population from the other 50%.
Yeah, I think it's a political term overused to get the other side going. It's used to pander votes.
Right.
My opinion. I mean, it's used for pandering purposes.
See, when I talk about things on what I would do or what my opponent does, most people will see that I will just focus on his record. I'm not saying anything bad that isn't true. I'm just telling you what his record is, which is what I expect the voters here in Middletown to do, hopefully when they elect me as their state rep, that you would make me accountable. Every single vote that I make up at the Capitol, you can call me on. Either agree or disagree. If you're going to disagree, make sure you get a hold of me ahead of time and tell me why. You know,
No, I agree. I think that's good. I think that's all the people that I interview, or most of the people I interview, always have that policy. You know, they run. They want to hear from the people. But then the people, when it's time to vote, they vote for people they vote for people. The person wins, and they always complain. I don't know what they're doing up there. Over and over again.
You will be able to complain directly to me.
I will.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm going to complain.
I have so many people that are going to keep me on my toes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I want.
But that's what government's about. It should be that way.
Right. And even people with issues. I've had a number of phone calls that my opponent has ignored, them calling him, that I've been able to handle their issues. I may not know all the answers.
In fact, in the next hour, which you're going to show a repeat from last week's show, you talk about that, actually.
Yeah. And I've still had more coming in. I'll refer them to the people that I believe could help them.
Right.
You know, if there's something I'm not sure of, I make the phone calls, get back to the person and tell them, okay, call this person.
Right.
They'll be able to point you in the right direction. Sure. And I think that's what people really need to see.
Problem solving.
Is that I honestly do take, when somebody calls me, I do take your issue seriously.
And you're not a menu. You're not like, if you have a problem with taxes, hit 1. You're a lady running for office. You're on the Board of Ed, and you want to talk to the people and figure out. Debbie Klikowski does that, actually.
Oh, she's wonderful at that.
So, I was thinking we'll take a break at 8:30. We'll show the Oddfellows Playhouse promo, which is about 6 years old now. And then we're going to come back and talk about Linda's experience with small business, her people experience, her experience with rock legends, and I'm not kidding, her goals for the 33rd. And I got a special bonus question, which I'll keep. It's a fun one, though.
Okay.
But it's not super fun. I mean, it's not.
It's been a long week.
It's interesting. No, I'm not going to ambush you. But if I say it, it's fun.
It's been
so, caller, any last question before we go to break?
No. I want to hear all about Linda and her plans. Her What's Up Doc bill. You talked about that. Her Economics 101.
Sure.
Good.
Okay, good. And the number for the show, Linda's number is 860-575-7125. That's the number to call Linda that you see on the screen. But if you want to call me on the air now, we're going to have that number up, 613-3031. That's 860-613-3031. We're going to go to an Oddfellows Playhouse PSA, about 4.5 minutes. And we'll be back with Linda Szynkowicz and some more calls. Thank you, caller. 860-613-3031.
And I have so much fun.
Whether it be a production for little kids or for the teenagers, it's always high quality work.
The experience that I'm probably most proud of is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I had a great cast, and the set was amazing.
I find Oddfellows a great family experience.
Oddfellows Playhouse.
Promoting the growth of young people through the
Performing arts.
"37 years ago, Oddfellows Playhouse was started by 4 Wesleyan students as a community theater program for young people. Since that time, Oddfellows has grown into Connecticut's largest youth theater, serving over 31 towns throughout central and southern Connecticut. Nearly 2,000 young people a year come through the doors of Oddfellows, where they make friends, learn about their community, and learn about themselves.
It gives them confidence to be leaders. It gives them confidence to work with other people. It offers a whole experience where they grow as people.
At Oddfellows, we run programming year-round for students as young as age 3 all the way up till age 20 in the performing arts. Oddfellows offers a technical theater program for middle school and high school students.
The great thing about theater is it's one of the last places in modern society where everyone's dependent on one another, getting everyone to collaborate together, from backstage crew to the kids who are actually doing the performances. Everyone's a key part of the program.
The teen repertory program is for our high school students. The Summer Shakespeare Academy is a 4-week intensive for high school students where they're immersed in the world of Shakespeare.
You get legitimate training. You learn how to say things eloquently, and you just have a great time, and you meet so many different types of people.
What she just said clears up what his story, what happened after his story, right? Oh, so you have to.
In stage combat class, I learned how to fall correctly, making it look like I'm actually pushed, but it's all in my control. Like throwing punches and making sure that the people who are being punched are the ones in control. David, our instructor, is really fun and really great, and he is really good at teaching us, because when he first taught us the things, it was sort of a just watch me and then you do, and then slowly we just became more and more comfortable with it, and he would add more things, and so it was very easy to pick up on.
Good.
Nice.
It looks really good. So just make sure you don't flex the foot. You keep the toe pointed, and you're sending that energy up. And you can go up with quite a bit. Okay.
The junior repertory program is for middle school students in grades 6 through 8. Troops and Arts Explorers is an after-school multi-arts program for at-risk youth. Little Fellows is our newest program. It's for students aged 4 through 7. It's a 2-week multi-arts program involving dance, storytelling, movement, acting, and visual arts.
I really like doing drawing and crafts. We write stories and then draw pictures about them.
And we're just trying to give them fun things to take home so that they can really feel accomplished.
Our first ACT program is offered on Saturdays for preschool and kindergarten students. Our Stage 1 program is for grades 1 through 3. Students begin with Complete Actor 1, where they learn the basics of acting, and then their next program is a mini production. Our Stage 2 programs are for grades 4 through 5. Students begin with Complete Actor 2, and then their next class is a mini production. The Children's Circus is a 5-week half-day program where students are exposed to circus skills, including clowning, juggling, stilting, unicycling, and acrobatics. It culminates in an outdoor circus show for an audience of over 1,500 people. If you want to know more about our classes and programs and see how they fit with your schedule, check out our website at oddfellows.org.
Oddfellows Playhouse.
When you come here, it's like a world of fun.
They learn so quickly because the teachers are just really good at bringing out their strengths.
And it's been a wonderful experience for all of us.
I thought it would be a wonderful opportunity where he could meet other children and be creative at the same time.
Oddfellows offers a variety of programs for children ages 4 to 20.
Oddfellows Playhouse.
Promoting the growth
of young people
through the performing arts.
On live TV. Wow.
We got to wake up.
We got to wake up, right? It's Friday night. Wow.
Just ourselves.
7:34, right? Because usually we do the show at 8.
Yes.
We've changed. I'm getting used to it. I like the 7 o'clock slot better. More phone calls, 860-613-3031. I got some topics we're going to talk about. Linda's going to talk about small business, her plans for small business to help business owners. And Linda works on her own small business and has had businesses before. Mm-hmm. Talk about that. Obviously, you've dealt with those.
Before we get into that, I wanted to tell you about Tuesday night.
The Zion Church.
Zion Church.
Sounds good.
They had a Get Out to Vote rally. I was there. My husband came with me. It was Vinny's birthday.
Vinny's birthday.
Yes, he got.
Vinny looks young.
Yes.
A young-looking man.
Yes.
Very young-looking.
And Dante was
Bartolomeo,
there.
Right?
Yep, she was
looks
there.
Young too, actually.
And Matt Lesser.
Young.
And
Vinny looks younger than both of them.
Right. So we got there, and I wasn't expecting it, but it was a Bible study.
Nice.
A Bible study first before we got to speak.
Oh, so it was pre-Bible. Study, and then
it was wonderful.
Nice.
Honestly, I mean, it was so enlightening hearing, the people talking about stuff and what the pastor had gone through. And I've been to a number of different forums where you have to explain your political positions, etc. It wasn't like that evening.
Tell me what it was like. Enlighten me.
They wanted to know our religious beliefs because we were in a church.
Makes sense.
You know, so I was like, wow, this is great. And that's one of the things I did want to pass on to people.
Right.
Is I'm a Lutheran Protestant.
Did not know this.
I go to Grace Lutheran Church since I was 10.
Washington Street? Yeah.
Nope.
Oh.
Randolph Road.
Oh, the Randolph Road, yeah.
Blue Cross.
The one by my house, yeah.
Blue Cross. My husband, Vinny, is Catholic. I used to teach vacation Bible school. Years ago, when my daughter was in the preschool there, I was chairperson of the preschool board. My father used to be president of the church.
Wow.
You know,
so you have a big background here.
Right. And I pray every day. I do a lot of driving. And one of the things I did sort of joke about is I'm also asking God for forgiveness.
Right.
At least once a day while I'm driving, because either I end up swearing at somebody who cut me off or calling him stupid, but I always end up apologizing to God because I know it's just myself and God with me in the car. So I always, you know, if I do something or say something wrong, and I'm not somebody who goes around swearing, it's very infrequent, but, you know, when you're driving and someone cuts you off and, you know, you almost get killed, sometimes something slips out. But, you know, I am very religious. You know?
I did not know this.
Yes.
I've known you for a long time. Did not know this.
And to me, it doesn't matter what religion anybody is.
Right.
It's their own private thing.
Religion should be private if you choose it to be. It's your business, like politics in a way.
Right.
You know,
and it was just so enlightening at the Zion Church. I was just
so
my husband
completely different than you expected, right?
Completely different than we expected. My husband and I were talking about this even afterwards, how wonderful it was.
Right. Well, let's hold that thought. You have a phone call.
Okay.
You're on live television.
Hi, my name is Robert. I was wondering.
Hi, Robert. Could you turn down your TV, the volume, please?
Yep.
Thank you, Robert.
Hold on.
Sure.
Hold on.
Okay.
My question is to Linda. Do you think we should have tolls back in Connecticut or not?
Good question, Robert.
That's an excellent question. I do not believe that we should have tolls in Connecticut.
Wow. Hey, you got a straight answer.
Absolutely not. I mean, other people will end up finding a way to go around the tolls, especially on 95, if they put them there, because that's where they would be looking for.
Sure.
And the congestion that would happen. We'd also lose a lot of the truckers coming through Connecticut because instead of coming through Connecticut, it's much easier for them to go on the Mass Pike when they're used to paying those tolls through the long distances.
They have the speed pass now. There's been a lot of
It's too congested to do that. And even if we use the Easy Pass, and this is something else that I've got a problem with, the Easy Pass is they can make mistakes. I had that happen 2 years ago. I was in Boston.
Oh boy.
And then I ended up getting a bill from New York telling me that I had gone through a New York toll. So I called and said, because I have my receipt from my toll up in Boston, and they said, well, sometimes when they're not sure, they just kind of guess.
That's irresponsible. It's ridiculous.
So no,
that's your government for you.
Yeah, I do not believe that we should have tolls in Connecticut at all. We're too small.
I got another question.
Sure, Robert. Shoot.
Well, do you think we should have more factories in Connecticut, create more jobs for people, doing part-time and full-time, somehow to fix Connecticut up real good?
Absolutely. We used to be a manufacturing state between New Britain, Waterbury. I mean, that's where a lot of your grandparents, Willimantic used to work, and they've all outsourced, and businesses have closed. And we should actually have more manufacturing companies here. We should have programs that younger people can actually go through training.
Sure.
Even if you're working as an apprentice at a particular location in order to get the experience. But I believe we need to find a way to bring the factories back to Connecticut and get more jobs. And like you said, whether part-time or full-time, that's what we need to be focusing on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
Call again. Thank you. Take care.
Those were two great questions.
Great caller. Yeah.
See, on certain
That's why I
things,
love the live TV. You know, the people can call. Oh, if you do call, everybody out there, just lower your volume because there's an echo. So just to warn you. So give us a call at 860-613-3031. And you want to talk about the questions, or you want to go back to the Zion Church story?
Well, like I said, the Zion Church, again, was just absolutely wonderful. The people there were wonderful, the pastor, everybody.
Now, you actually went up on the pulpit and talked?
No, we were in the big...
that room.
That other side room that everybody used. That's
room,
where they have their vacation Bible school. I'm not vacation, but their Bible school on Tuesday nights.
A lot of people over there?
20, 25 people.
Oh, wow, that's pretty good.
And it was, like I said, it was just so enlightening that even my husband and I, when we left, because I had to take him to dinner, it was, his birthday.
He's 35.
No.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to Cantina. What? Why are you laughing?
You didn't go to Cantina, did you?
Yes, we did.
You didn't go.
We went to Cantina. Tommaso makes wonderful food. Why do you keep...
We'll talk off the air.
No.
Off the air.
What I can say about Tommaso
it's a great place,
is that he is non-political.
Right.
He's non-political.
So the raviolis are not Republican or Democrat.
Right.
No.
No.
There's no liberal policy with the sauce.
Also, speaking of Cantina, on Tuesday night, election evening, 4 days from now, from 6 o'clock on, I just want to let people know, if you want to stop by, that's where we're going to be to await the election results.
Yeah, I'm going to stop by after 8. I have I'm at the Wesleyan. They put me at the moderator. I'm a moderator at Wesleyan.
Yes, well, my daughter Andrea and her boyfriend Ned are actually going to be runners. I'm going to be registering my runners on Monday.
Sure.
So they will be in there when the doors are closed to get the numbers.
Sure.
So we will kind of know ahead of time, sort of unofficially, what the numbers were. So I probably won't get there until about 8:15, because 6 o'clock in the morning I will be at Moody School voting, and my daughter will be there voting.
Right.
My husband's going to vote, and then he's going to be there all day.
You have a plan, an attack plan.
Well, first and most important thing is getting there to vote.
To vote, right.
You know,
you don't want to forget to vote.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely want to vote. And then I'm going to bring my daughter and Ned over to Wesleyan, which is where Beckham Hall. I got to figure out where.
I'll be working there.
I got to figure out where it is.
Yeah, I'll tell you afterwards.
You know, so, and I've got a number of other people that are helping out. We do need more volunteers. If people want to help out, we'd be more than happy.
Yeah.
I will give you a T-shirt, and we'll give you a signs. What few we have left that haven't been stolen.
I know. It's a shame. It's a shame. And how can the people contact you? I mean, they can, go on.
Yeah, the 860-575-7125 is the phone number to call. If you want to come out, even if it's an hour, 2 hours, all day. All day. I will feed you.
Nice.
I will be traveling around. I've got 5 different polling stations to be at. So I will be going from polling station to polling station, making sure everybody's okay. I want to be out there talking to voters because I really, really would like to be your state representative.
Absolutely.
And I want to make myself available to as many people as possible who haven't met me yet, to ask me questions that may make them decide to vote for me if they were on the fence.
Sure.
So I'm available. I mean, just like I've been knocking on doors
You've
for
been hitting
months.
a lot of doors.
For months.
I know you have. Other people have told me you're in the neighborhoods. You're everywhere. How many doors do you think you've knocked on?
I don't know, several thousand.
Several thousand?
I don't think not everybody's been home.
Well, okay.
So we have, our door hangers, and I had earlier, I wasn't out really campaigning for the first 3 or 4 months. I was asking the one question.
Sure.
So I had my questionnaire, my business card, the return envelope, because I wanted to know how the people in Middletown felt.
Which is good. You know the pulse of your voters and your constituency.
I've gotten to know so many roads.
Yeah.
And I did not know during the summertime that Briarwood actually goes uphill.
Yeah.
95-degree weather.
Wow.
that was one of the most difficult ones because I was walking alone.
What about the dogs? I walk too, and I don't like the dogs. I'm afraid of them. That's why I like dogs. I'm afraid of them.
Well, I've only had one dog actually draw blood on me.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't mean to.
Really? What'd you do?
I just kept talking to the gentleman.
You talked to the dog or the gentleman?
No, he picked up the dog and he held the dog.
Big dog or a small dog?
It was a small dog.
It's always a small dog.
It's the small dogs. Which was the other thing. I was really surprised at how many people actually own dogs.
I know, a lot of dogs.
Oh, my goodness.
If the dogs could vote, we have a different election.
And there was only one house with a dog that was so big, he was almost like a horse, and he was outside.
Right.
And I did skip that house.
Yeah, I would too.
You know, it was a driveway
Was it
going
like
up like this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Forget
and he's
about it.
barking at me, and I'm like, I don't see a leash. I think, you know,
Was it
whether
like
he's.
when you say big, was it like a Clifford the big red dog?
Oh,
big?
yeah. He was
or
huge.
Marmaduke.
Marmaduke.
Marmaduke's
Yeah.
nice dog, Marmaduke.
Yeah,
Big red dog.
I don't mind dogs. I don't mind animals. I'm not going to go
Big red state would be nice.
running off. Although I did have an incident a number of years ago that a new neighbor, when I lived in East Hampton at the time, had their dog, and you know how you put your hand down so they can sniff your hand?
Yes, I do.
He clamped on.
On your hand?
On my
There was
hand.
clamping on your hand?
Yes, he clamped down on my hand. I got a tetanus shot.
Really?
It was our new neighbor.
Wow.
It took a lot to get the...
I'm sure the relationship between you and the neighbor must have been...
Well, she came over the next day with some flowers
Yeah,
and
yeah.
apologized. I'm like, it happens. Don't worry about it.
Right,
You
they're
know, I
nervous, they're
got the
nervous.
tetanus shot. You know, I'll be
I
fine.
hope they vote for you.
You know,
No, they're in East Hampton, I'm kidding.
that was in East
I
Hampton
know.
at the time. But you know, you never know when you're out there. But I've met so many wonderful people out knocking, and I only had one rude person.
Really? One rude person?
One
out of several thousand
one.
homes?
Yes.
And one mean dog?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, people were willing to listen, and I only had that one. I've had a few cranky, cranky people. But you know, one of the things that I look at when I'm going up to somebody's house is I'm on your property.
Right.
I'm knocking on your door. And I think people have heard me say this before. After I knock on the door or I ring the doorbell, I will take a step back off your
personal
steps,
space.
off the porch if that's what you have in front of you, because I need to give you your space.
Right.
And I'm not one of those people that ring the doorbell. Oh, I hear somebody inside.
Yeah,
I'll keep ringing the doorbell.
Right.
I ring it once. I wait about 10 seconds, start writing on my pad, sorry I missed you, put my door hanger, put stuff down. And then inevitably when I come back through, I see the stuff's already been picked up, or I'll see the hands reach out as soon as I'm leaving, which is fine because it's your property.
It's your time.
It's your house, you know. I'm just grateful when I do get an opportunity to speak to people.
Wow.
So
that's wonderful. Well, we have about 13 and a half minutes left.
Well,
So what do you want to talk about?
Well, we could do a continuation of,
Sure, I would
of everything that's gone on because
yeah, let's do that because I think that's important. The last show, which you could see the repeat after this show tonight, there was some things going on with your opponent since 2014 with some voter fraud issues.
Right.
That made the press. It made WFSB. So don't sue me. It was on other media because they always go after the public access guy.
Yeah. No. Channel 3 had run the story 11 o'clock on last Thursday night. And then the Middletown Press ran the story front page, and the Middletown Press did a wonderful job.
Right.
Cassandra
Day wrote it, yeah.
Right, she did a great job. There was a few little things here and there. Same thing for Channel 3. They missed a couple of things.
But essentially, your camp, you're saying that your opponent Joe Serra has relatives voting for him, and they live in California and in a couple other states. I think there's 4 people, maybe 5 people that are voting, and they've been there for 20 plus years.
Right.
Just to keep it in a nutshell.
Right. I was just going to say, just giving a quick update. Joe Serra's 4 kids and his son-in-law.
Okay, that's 5, yeah.
Yeah, so there's 5 of them.
Wow.
His 4 children, adult children, 2 which are married with kids. One lives in California, and she uses her maiden name at Joe's address and says she lives there.
Sure.
Her husband, Vincent, uses his father's address and says he lives there. The 2 in New York that live in New York, and then his son who lives in Massachusetts in North Reading hasn't voted since 2006, but still is on our voter rolls.
Right.
So essentially, when I had found this out, it was 2 years ago, before the election, and this was the big thing that.
So 2014.
2014.
Yeah, I remember all this.
And the big thing is the media says, it was like after the election I challenged, that's why she was a loser. It's like, no. I challenged it before the election because the way the process works is if you believe somebody is not a legal resident, you have to send a letter to the registrar of voters, whichever party they're with.
Which you did, I think.
Yes, I did. And challenge them, saying, I do not believe they are legal registered voters. They don't live at his address and haven't for years. And then the town clerk has to send certified letters to each of them, letting them know they're being challenged. And the town clerk had actually even called Joe in 2014 before the election.
Sandra Ferracci, I would assume it would.
Yep, and no, the town clerk, Linda Linda Betancourt, also gave Joe a heads up that his kids were being challenged.
Right.
And it's up to the Registrar of Voters to make a determination, because it's her job to say whether or not they're voting legally or illegally. So depending upon what their answer was, is how the process works. Well, Sandra Ferracci decided that she was going to allow them to vote.
And she is the Democratic Register of Voters at the time.
At the time.
Right.
Even though she was the godmother of Lisa, who lives in California.
So I'm guessing you're going to say she should have recused herself from this decision.
And all this stuff, since she said allowed them to vote, even though I believe they weren't, and I challenged them, the next step was after the election, because you can only challenge the stuff through the SEC after the election.
Which is odd.
Yeah, well, that's the way it works.
That's the way it is, yeah.
Because, the registrar could change their mind at the last minute, so you have to wait till after. So that's when I had to do the rest of the filings. I worked with one of the attorneys on a number of things that I had seen, and we said what is included, what isn't included, et cetera, and who has jurisdiction. Anything within the 75-foot marker that happens at a polling station is under the purview of the State Election Enforcement Commission.
The SEEC.
Right. And anything outside of that is Secretary of State's, et cetera. So I've been waiting 2 years for this decision.
Jeez.
I had 2 different complaints, 2014-158, and then in March I put in his son-in-law, a few other people, and like 70 people, I believe, that voted absentee that didn't live in Connecticut. So as we're waiting, I figured they only meet once a month. So if I don't get a letter before the 15th of the month saying, that they're going to be making their determination, it's not going to happen that month. So I had been going through my postal routes, because there's 42 different postal routes here in Middletown.
42.
42 different ones. And I had to go through each address to see which ones were in my district, because I don't need to be sending my stuff to Matt's district.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Right, it's a waste of.
So that's when I came across Randolph Road and his 4 adult children who have lived out of state for 10, 15, 20 years were still registered at his address, and his son-in-law using the father's. So this created another issue with, why are they doing that? They're under investigation. The SEC hasn't come to their conclusion, even though also on top of this, his daughter in New York donated to his campaign.
Right.
Which
the matching funds.
For the funds, you have to raise $5,000 on your own. 150 people have to be from Middletown.
Very strict rules.
It's even stricter than voting in Connecticut.
Right.
So she signed a form using his address, making a donation.
Okay.
Could Lorianne have donated to her father? Absolutely.
But not for the qualify for the matching.
Right. It could have just gone to the total amount and not the Middletown names. So all she had to do was use her legal address, which is in New York City. She didn't. She used his address. And I also got the voting records back to 1997 on how many times they voted, mostly absentee, consistently voting. So this this brought up another issue. They're still on the Registrar of Voters list. The SEC hasn't come down with their findings. I know that they're not legal residents. I also researched California law, New York law, Massachusetts law, and by those other states, they are absolutely considered residents of those other states. By Connecticut statute, they are absolutely not Connecticut
What's
residents.
the reason for absentee? Because on the absentee ballot, you have to check off a reason. I think there's 5 choices.
Right, and their choice is usually number 2, that they won't be near the polling station during polling hours. Well, if you live in California, you're not going to be.
More than likely, you're not going to catch the red eye.
Because a decision wasn't made, I had to do another challenge. I mean, I actually went to the SEC and said, okay, now what do I do? Do I have to do another challenge? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I said, they're still registered. They said, yeah, but they're under investigation. I know. So what I had to do was challenge again. This time it's Lisa Santangelo is the Democrat Registrar of Voters. So what I did was I sent it out certified mail on Monday to her. To Lisa. Giving all the evidence to show that they are not residents. All the stuff, including when you sign an absentee ballot, it says right there in the fine print that by signing it fraudulently, it is a mandatory or minimum 1 year in jail. It's a Class D felony.
I read it because I'm a moderator, so I had to vote absentee.
Right. So, and it's up to a $5,000 fine. Right. So I sent that out to her. I sent a copy, regular mail, to the Republican registrar.
Right.
I sent one to the town clerk.
Now, it should be noted that Lisa Santangelo is married to the deputy mayor of Middletown.
Yes.
I mean, it's true. I mean.
Yeah. Channel 3 had also wanted a copy because they wanted to see what was going on with this. And I also sent it to Cassandra. And then I hand-delivered it up to the SEEC.
So you drove to Hartford?
I drove to Hartford because I need to get it date stamped.
Well, I don't blame you for, because right now your mileage isn't being taxed, so you should drive up there.
Well, I'll tell you, I got the answer today.
We have 5 minutes to go. 4 minutes to go, and we have an answer. Unbelievable.
Yes. And you want to know what the answer is?
I don't know.
My daughter, Andrea, came with me today, this afternoon, and we're heading to the registrar's office, and Lisa Santangelo was coming out of the office.
This is City Hall.
At City Hall.
Got it. And
I asked her if she had received the certified letter, and she said she did.
Nice.
And I said, I just would like to know what is your answer? And she told me that there was nothing she could do. Secretary of State's office told her that she couldn't take them off the list.
Right.
Which I had to repeat it several times, that, okay, so you are going to allow them to vote. And she said, yes, there was nothing she could do. Which, by the way, a registrar of voters is the one in charge of making sure that there's no voter fraud. It is absolutely her job to make the decision. It is up to her, and it is not up to the Secretary of State's office to make that determination as to whether she could answer it or not. It is up to the State Election Enforcement Commission. So they're utilizing the Secretary of State's office, saying, oh, there's nothing we can do. When I am telling everybody right now, it is her job, her decision, to decide whether or not she considers them legal voters. And she's decided that she's going to let, if they so choose, if they come to the polls, they can vote. And if their absentee ballots come in,
they'll be counted.
They would be counted. And the big thing is, it's not about the votes.
Right.
This is another point that a lot of people have missed. It's about voter fraud.
Right.
The integrity of our voting system is called into question. One of the things saying they're going to come back, well, how could you actually say you're coming back to a house you don't own?
Right.
You know, it's not their house.
Well, I mean, it's like they're adult children. They've been doing this for years and years and years. And do they vote in their states where they're living now? I don't know.
Stephen votes in North Reading, but he's still on our voter list. He hasn't voted since 2006, but he's still listed.
Right.
He could still walk in on Election Day and vote.
If he so chose to.
Right. The other three, they checked on the national list and said they didn't vote, but I don't trust the national list because I'm not even on it.
So Lisa made a decision.
Yes, she made her decision.
Let them do what they're doing. Keep the status quo the same.
Yes. Yes. And one of the things that they keep using is, or Joe had said was, well, they're coming back. That only counts for college students, military, international, and special circumstances.
Let's cut the horse business here.
But if you live in a state like California, if you live there, within 6 months, you even have to register your vehicle, even if you have the Connecticut plates. You have to get your driver's license within 90 days. If you have children in a school, you're a resident.
Well, wow, that's a lot of digestion there. And we have about... we got to wrap it up. We're making the end of the show. We got to wrap it up. My next show, what's my next show? There's Thanksgiving. I'm not doing a show. Linda, anything to say to the people? What a good show.
Everybody vote your conscience. Just vote your conscience.
Vote
That's
Linda.
all.
Vote Linda.
Yeah.
I say vote Linda. The honest candidate. The only choice.
Thank you.
And her adult children will not vote for her if they live in California. You can honestly say that, right?
Yes, I can
honestly
honestly
she can
say
that. Okay. And she's very convinced.
I know.
Haven't you?
What can be better than that?
Right. So, guys, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Great phone calls. Lots going on. See you Tuesday. I'll be at Wesleyan at the polls. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.